I'll tell you what, I like to share things with you. I've got to show you a picture of the youngest painter that I have met lately.
Hi, happy to join you again. I'm James Fury, aka Bob Ross, and I am almost finishing up the painting. I'm just making just a few little highlights here and there. You make it using sap green and cad yellow.
What were you into when you were 9 years old?
Now the sap green is kind of already in there, so it's just going to be some cad yellow and sap green.
Me? I like Pac-Man, Star Wars, Transformers, Batman. I love baseball cards in wacky packages, movie monsters, and Muppets.
It's the Muppet Show with our very special guest star, Mr. Steve Martin.
James Fiore is a 9-year-old from Rhode Island who loves Bob Ross.
Almost running out of these colors. The old son of a guns.
Isn't he something? I am so proud of that young man.
When I came home from school after 3rd grade, I'd raid the pantry for something sweet, and I'd turn on the cartoons. That was my routine till my mom got home from work. James Fiore has his own ritual.
What happens is I just go home and I feel like I want to do something soothing, so I pick up a paintbrush, which is something really soothing, and then I think what's in my mind, either happy trees, happy mountains, happy lakes, happy oceans.
Some happy little things right there. And all we do is happy.
One night, James was flipping through the channels, looking for something to lull him into dreamland after a long day of 3rd grading. And then, he found just what he was looking for.
Just pull up the old easy chair, put your foots up, and enjoy a relaxing half hour as we play some of nature's masterpieces on canvas.
And did you fall asleep?
Oh yes, oh yes.
Whether you awaken refreshed or you paint along with us, either way, I hope you enjoy this as much as I enjoy being here with you.
But the more James watched the joy of painting, the more he became aware of his artistic side.
I've done mostly drawing with markers, crayons, and once I found about Bob Ross, I started painting, and that became the new me.
Witnesses to their son's new obsession, Eileen and Henry Fiore buy James the Bob Ross painting kit for kids.
Just do this and make little highlights. We're just going to make those rascals just sparkle in the sun.
There they are. Look at them little rascals. Isn't that unreal that you can do that in such a quick stroke?
Well, Bob Ross says painting should make you happy. Does it make you happy?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And another thing that makes me happy is listening to this podcast.
You haven't truly made it in podcasting till you've gotten props from a 9-year-old. Thanks, James.
Another nice thing about painting, doesn't matter if you're 8 or 80. It works just as well for young people as it does for us older people. Hey, what let's do? Let's have some fun. Let's build some trees.
James doesn't just paint the landscapes. He says all the Bob Ross sayings. He's not only interested in painting like Bob, he's trying to be like Bob.
Let's go right up in here. And let's put in, there they are. Just some beautiful little leaves on this big evergreen tree, wherever you think they should live.
Let's say you don't want it that yellow. You just get a little darker. Because in our world, we don't make mistakes. We just have happy accidents.
And being like Bob doesn't just mean painting happy little trees or saying all the happy little things. It's the encouragement, the sharing, that truly sows the seeds of joy. Do you bond with Mom and Dad over this? Is this something that they get excited about when you do it?
Mm-hmm. They paint too.
Oh, tell me more.
Sometimes we paint together.
It's because of James.
Yeah.
Yep.
He asked us to, and it's infectious.
Mm-hmm.
His joy.
These are the things that make your painting special.
So my mom painted as an amateur, but she loved it, and it's really, really special. I do feel a lot like a lot of this, I don't know, could be her making sure that James finds it too. I had Bob Ross when I was born in 1972, so he was on when I was, growing up.
The Fiores proudly show off some of their landscapes, including one from James' older brother. Oh, so everybody's painting.
Yeah. Yep.
Mom Eileen's been teaching language in schools for 30 years. And what about Dad?
I'm the original Bob Ross fan.
That's true.
We have 4 generations within this house.
Henry Fiore is a Catholic school principal.
And now I work in a school in Baltic, Connecticut, run by an order of nuns who love Bob Ross.
I was talking to a fellow the other day and asked him, I said, what's your religious orientation? He says, what? I said, what's your church preference? He says, red brick.
As a parent, but also as a teacher, I am loving the fact that my son is not on a screen all the time. I love that he's connected with real creation of art. He's getting instructed at the same time. He's learning real skills from this man.
We really teach you how to be creative, how to use your imagination. If you just trace a painting on a canvas and do it, just, all you've done is taken somebody else's idea and filled in the block. I want to teach you how to create your own masterpieces.
We see Bob everywhere these days. On TV, on the shelves in the art stores, and in our own homes.
Got a little bobblehead of Bob Ross.
Well, let's make some nice little clouds that just float around and have fun all day.
I like that little thing.
But when we really begin to see Bob, that's when our worlds begin to change.
And it's this little guy, because he watched it, I really started watching it. And, come on, Dad, come and paint. Yeah. And I can't paint, but I did, and it was just good.
When you look at something through your kid's eyes, you totally see it differently than in a way you would have seen yourself.
And you just
really do.
Everybody's in their own little zone.
Looks like you're deep in the woods there. You hope you brought your compass. You may get lost. You need the old compass to find your way out.
For a 9-year-old, under different circumstances, getting lost in the woods would be tragic. But when you're deep in the woods with Bob Ross, your imagination as your compass, you're probably as safe as you'll ever be. And when you learn to create your own world at such a young age, there's no limit to the new places it might take you.
Is this peaceful to do?
You think?
And this painting can really and truly become a world on its own. You can find anything that you want in here. You can find peace, you can find calm times, anything. It's right here.
Once upon a time, there was a boy named Bear.
How to do it? I'm Kari Halsey, and I'm 11 years old.
A kid from Queens, young and debonair. Bear's real name is Kari Halsey.
I'm a big fan of Bob Ross.
So how did Bob make Bear brave and courageous? Let's find out.
Let's begin moving forward. I think today we'll use I'll take some bright red. What the heck? Be brave. Be brave. Take a chance. Experiment. Enjoy. That's what makes it fun.
Kari Halsey loves to nap. That's why they call him Bear, perhaps.
Shoot. Some are just, they're like me. They're just tired.
In 3rd grade, my art teacher, she would talk about him a lot. And then one day I was like, I'm about to go on Netflix watching Bob Ross. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. And Bob's messed up this time. Maybe. But I want a big tree right here. I'll show you how to make a beautiful big tree.
When I'm watching Bob Ross, I'm literally doing nothing but using my eyeballs.
But a few years back, Bear tried to paint, and he soon learned Bob Ross. He ain't.
How do you do this? Tell me. Bob Ross, what do you want from me?
The cameras rolled while young Bear brushed. The canvas, watching Bob, he rushed to keep up with the happy painter. And as it turns out, surely, no doubt, Bear was quite the entertainer.
I like how he's quiet, peaceful, opposite of me.
Tranquil, whatever you want to call it.
I need some help. Bob Ross, I'm so sorry. It ain't working out, so I'm going my own route right now.
Don't get in too big a hurry. Speed will come automatically with practice. First thing you want to do is learn how to do it.
I don't know how he does it. I'm gonna tell you that.
And even though an oil painting was maybe more than Bear could handle, Bear's interest in Bob the Man endeared his son to Father Randall.
So imagine having a son, and then your son looks at you and says, I want Mario, brother. We're going to be on board because we remember that moment. Then in the next wave, it was The Dark Knight came out. Oh, I want Batman. You want Batman toys? For me, it's like, yes, let's go get it. You know what I mean? It's just a big break from the action, cartoons, fighting scenes. So it was just one of those, all right, this is a different mode of Bear. And it's just me seeing my son appreciate different nuances. You know what I mean? Not everything has to be and karate and everything.
Ooh, that's pretty. That's pretty. These kind of colors just make you feel good. They make you feel good. And that's what painting's all about. It should make you feel good inside when you paint.
Bears love to sleep, to eat your food. They love Bob Ross, his attitude. Whether bear or boy, we can feel Bob's vibe. That's why Bob Ross fans are a happy tribe. His joy's a potion we all imbibe.
Bob Ross is a boss, and if you don't think so, unsubscribe.
In our world, we can have any color we want. Because we're the boss. We can do it all.
I want to introduce you to some young artists.
My name is Moxie. I'm Lila. My name's Pepper.
3 middle school kids from Austin, Texas, all part of a band called Protesting Possums. Their new song is out, and it just so happens to be called The Joy of Bob Ross.
Sounds like a good song title.
Is it mystical in the mind? Wide open spaces where you can paint all the time. The clouds so white, the trees so green. I love Bob Ross for eternity. With your humble expertise, you teach us all.
Moxie, Lila, and Pepper are only part of the genius behind this almighty ode to our favorite TV painter. The Joy of Bob Ross was made with some assistance and encouragement from adults.
My name is Stella. I'm one of the directors of Spilled Milk Social Club. We're an after-school and summer camp program for school-age kids, so 5 to 12-year-olds. And I've known 3/5 of the Protesting Possums that we have here. I've known all of them for many, many years. Moxie I've known since she was born. She's my niece.
Spilled Milk Social Club is a play-based after-school program in Austin. Stella Maxwell is one half of the duo that runs the place.
There's another director named Allie, and we started Spilled Milk Social Club in 2012.
Their mission, encouraging kids to explore creativity and the arts.
We put on musicals, and we make little short movies with kids, and we do the Summer Olympics, and we put on a show in the wintertime. So we do lots of different things, but one of our better known programs that people are itching to get into is our songwriting camp that we call Rock and Roll Nation.
So when it was time to pick a subject for a new songwriting camp, there was one particular person who seemed like a natural fit.
I think everybody has sort of an urge to be creative, and it's a nice way of letting that urge come out, and it's so enjoyable.
Especially for a band who calls themselves Protesting Possums.
Are you aware that Bob Ross, amongst many other animals, has had a possum on his show?
Wait, really? I didn't know that.
This is a little possum. Isn't this the cutest little devil?
So how do young bohemians get turned on to the rhapsody of Ross?
I thought everyone knew who Bob Ross was. Like, when I go to the dentist, like, they're playing Bob Ross on the TV. Like, my grandparents love Bob Ross. I knew Bob Ross because whenever I was little, my mom would always play it on the TV, and I would watch it, and I thought it was cool.
Whenever I was little. That's now.
Well, when I was like 4 or something.
Boy, they like little kids. They get into everything. Absolutely everything. Here she wanted to look at the headset and see what kind of music we were listening to.
Full disclosure, Bob Ross wasn't the first idea for the new song.
We were originally, no hate, but we were originally going to write a song about a rock.
Maybe. Sometimes I get carried away with these rocks. They're so much fun to make. I just get to making them and can't seem to quit.
And a little ditty originally intended to be about a pet rock, Bob Rock as they called him, was quickly transposed into a somewhat more sophisticated work of art.
I mean, I asked that question. I was like, why are you writing about Bob Ross? Is it just like a list of facts about Bob Ross, or is there a reason? And it kind of came together. They were like, we love Bob Ross. We want to pay tribute to him.
But isn't that fantastic? I'm always amazed at what people are doing. And some of these are very, very young people. Very young people. My young friends, dynamite. Absolutely dynamite.
Let's be real here. This Joy of Bob Ross song is well produced, polished, it's catchy as all heck. Its sound is distinctively grunge rock, a musical genre born well before any of these girls were. It's refreshing to hear them cite bands like Deftones, Gorillaz, and Tenacious D when I ask them about musical inspirations. It's one thing to love these bands, but do these girls want to be like them too?
I still want to play guitar, but I like math a lot, so.
Each series has 13 shows, so it must be nearly, my math's not too good today, probably 375 shows or so.
Bob's better at math than he gives himself credit for, and we all know that he's a rock star worthy of tribute. But I'm curious to hear why a group of 12 and 13-year-olds would choose to celebrate Bob in this way. Is it the big hair? The squirrels?
He's just like so great, and he's kind of inspiring to some people.
Like a lot of people would look up to him. Like even if you don't like painting, you'd like his message about peace.
He made painting like accessible, and it made it seem a lot easier than I think it is for a lot of people.
Don't be afraid of practice. There we go. Nothing's free, and the price you pay for painting, or I believe anything else you do that you do well, it's just practice.
One thing we all learned at some point in camp was that he very intentionally used his voice.
And although this song won't make Lila, Pepper, and Moxie rich, probably won't net them a Grammy or even an American Music Award, paying tribute to Bob Ross is still paying out for protesting possums.
Do you go as the Possums by short or PP?
No, protesting.
I gotta say it all the way, protesting. That's a lot to put on a t-shirt.
Actually, we made a t-shirt. I wore it just the other day.
There's a protesting possums t-shirt?
One of the things they have to do on the first day is once they choose their band name, they have to select somebody or work together and create a logo that can be made into a screen for screen printing.
I did the possum and the spray can. Lila did all the letters, and then Pepper did the drips.
You gotta hand it to Spilled Milk Social Club. It's not just, here's a guitar, go play. The lessons here are more valuable. Teaching kids that creativity, music, writing, painting, there's subtext, different shades and colors that come together before you make that final presentation.
It gives them this experience of working with their friends and making something that's fun, that makes them laugh, that is a really good song. And you also mentioned something about how his voice is so relaxing, and they all schooled me on that. I know who Bob Ross is. I've seen the Joy painting. I've seen Bob Ross, but they were like, no, the way that he says, what were some of the ways that he says the different colors?
Titanium white.
Just plain titanium white 2-inch brush. And let's go up in here and let's just begin dancing in some little things here and there.
Protesting possums aren't just honoring Bob Ross. They're emulating him. At Spilled Milk Social Club, they play, have fun. They're encouraged to share ideas and to be thoughtful.
You start off and all you do is put a little white on your brush, and you go up to the canvas like so, and you touch this canvas, and all of these fantastic little colors just begin to happen. And people think it's magic.
It's a foundational experience that can lead to great art. And once that art is made, it creates confidence and opportunity, even in unexpected places.
I think it's kind of cool, but it also just seems weird that I'm on a podcast, because I always think that podcasts are just things that everybody listens to, and it doesn't make sense to me that I'm on a podcast.
See, this makes no sense until you slip back in here and put a happy little shadow right in there. See, then bloop, it just jumps right up there. See, every highlight needs its own shadow, or it won't come out and play with you.
You can hear the full Protesting Possums, The Joy of Bob Ross song on Spotify and Bandcamp, and find out more about Spilled Milk Social Club at nousecrying.com. The The old clock in the woods tells me we've got another finished podcast episode. I want to thank my guests, James Fiore, Eileen and Henry Fiore, Kari Bear Halsey, Randall Halsey, Stella Maxwell, and Moxie, Lila, and Pepper from Protesting Possums. Special thanks to Micah Sherman and Mark Stetson for letting us include some of their footage of Bear Halsey painting along with Bob Ross. This happy little episode was produced with help from James Shapiro at Jansen Media and mixed by Digital Sound and Video of Daytona Beach, Florida. Support your local public television station and say thanks for giving us Bob Ross and the joy of painting. We'd like to see your paintings. Use hashtag #PaintLikeBobRoss. Bob Ross certified instructors are the only ones that know how to teach you Bob's world-famous painting method. So don't settle for second best. Find a local CRI at bobross.com and then click Take a Class. And if you've got your own Bob Ross story to tell, you know we want to hear about it, leave us a message at 866-FANBRUSH. Or you can send an email to podcast@bobross.com. And follow us on Facebook at The Joy of Painting with Bob Ross. I'm Ron Scalzo. The Joy of Bob Ross is written and produced by me, Ron Scalzo, in partnership with Bob Ross, Inc. Bob Ross name and images are registered trademarks of Bob Ross, Inc.